good afternoon and welcome to Baina Midday News, coming to you live from our news hub, Atomic Junction, Benab House, Accra. My name is Fawzia Abdullah. Coming up this afternoon. The Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference has filed an affidavit at the Supreme Court in support of an amicus curiae brief in the ongoing case concerning religious rights in public schools. And in business, Fitch Solutions have revised its 2026 real gross domestic product growth forecast for Ghana to 5.5% from the previous 5.9%. And on the international front, villages in Kenya have been submerged by flood waters in Kisumu County, with more than 80 people killed. These and many more stories coming up in the next few minutes. Do stay. You're welcome back. You're watching Baina Midday News and we're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at Baina TV. Now let's move to our very first story. And the Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference has filed an affidavit at the Supreme Court in support of an amicus curiae brief in an ongoing case concerning religious rights in Ghana's public school system. The move follows a lawsuit filed by lawyer Shafiq Osman, which challenges certain policies at Wesley Girls High School. He alleges that Muslim students at the school are compelled to participate in Christian religious activities while being restricted from practicing aspects of their own faith. The suit further contends that such directives violate provisions of Ghana's 1992 constitution, particularly those guaranteeing freedom of conscience, religion and belief. Speaking to the media in Accra, the president of the Bishop Conference, Most Reverend Matthew Kwesi Gyamfi, said the conference's submission is grounded in a memorandum of understanding on religious tolerance in schools. The MOU was adopted in April 2024 by government-assisted and private mission schools to promote mutual respect and accommodation of diverse religious practices. He explained that the intervention by the conference is intended to assist the courts with broader perspectives on religious coexistence within educational institutions rather than to support any particular party in the case. The case has reignited a national conversation on religious tolerance in schools, raising questions about the balance between institutional traditions and the constitutional rights of students to freely practice their faith. Moving on, a Ghanaian citizen has asked the Supreme Court to strike down the government's move to rename the Kotoka International Airport, insisting the decision is unconstitutional and of no legal effect according to a right filed at the Apex Court. Austin Kwabena Bracco Powers filed a suit on March 13, 2026, invoking the Supreme Court's original jurisdiction. He argues that the executive cannot rename the airport without first amending or repealing the law that established its current name.
At the center of the case is the General Kotoka Trust Decree of 1969, which is NLCD 339, which legally enshrines the airport's name. Bracco Powers won the court to declare that the decree remains valid and binding until Parliament properly changes it through legislation. His lawyer Michael Akusa of Edu Jimfi and Associates submitted the right in Kumasi. He further contends that the decision to remain the airport announced by the government as part of a broader transport sector rebranding breaches Article 11.1 and 11.4 of the 1992 Constitution. Those provisions recognize existing laws and outline the legal procedures needed to amend them. The suit also cites paragraph 8, chapter 1A of NLCD 339, which guides how any alteration to the airport's designation should occur. The plaintiff is not only seeking declaration, but also asking for both interim and perpetual injunctions to restrain the Ministry of Transport, its agents, or any authorized person from implementing the new name. He urges that until NLCD 339 is lawfully amended, repealed, or nullified, no executive directive can override it. Kotoka International Airport was named after LT General Emmanuel Kwesi Kotoka, one of the key figures in the 1966 coup that ousted Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. He was killed a year later during a counter-coup attempt, and the airport was subsequently named in his honor. The proposed renaming has sparked public debate, with some questioning the necessity and others pointing to the historical significance of the existing name. Bracco Powers says he filed the matter in both personal and public interest, emphasizing the need to protect the 1992 Constitution as Ghana's supreme law. The suit was filed under Rule 45, Chapter 1 of the Supreme Court Rules 1996 CI 16, and the Attorney General has 14 days from the date of service to respond.
Away from that, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, in collaboration with the Ghana Police Service, will from Tuesday, March 24, 2026, begin a nationwide enforcement exercise targeting vehicles still using 2025 DV plates and expired DP stickers. In a public notice, the DVLA explained that the use of the 2025 DV plate had earlier been temporarily allowed due to delays in the rollout of new license plates. However, following the issuance of the 2026 DV plate on February 4th, 2026, continued use of the old plates and expired stickers is now considered unlawful.
The authority stated that the 2026 DV plates have already been distributed to motor dealers, fleet operators, and licensed trade plate users, making compliance mandatory for all affected vehicle owners. It further reminded the public that the use of DV plates is strictly regulated under the Road Traffic Regulations 2012 LI 2180. Which outlines the categories of vehicles permitted to use such plates. Motorists whose vehicles do not qualify are required to complete full registration in accordance with the law. The DVLA also indicated that all its offices have been registering vehicles with the new 2026 plates since January 2nd, urging motorists to regularize their documentation to avoid sanctions. Authorities say the exercise forms part of efforts to enforce road traffic regulations and ensure compliance across the country.
Moving on further in today's bulletin, residents of Ashaliboche in Accra gathered in large numbers for the Namata Salah Fest, a family-oriented event aimed at extending Eid celebrations beyond the traditional prayers. The event, held at Rayanuddin Islamic School near St. Peter's Senior High School, brought together children, parents, and community members for a day filled with fun, relaxation, and social bonding.
The festival featured a wide range of activities including Quranic recitals, drama performances, lime and spoon races, musical chairs, a bouncy castle, and a swimming pool for children. Organizers also provided free health screening services with an added incentive of 1 month free consultation at Namata Clinic for attendees. Speaking to the media, Halima Yakubu, wife of the Chief Executive Officer of Namata, explained that the initiative was inspired by observations that many Muslims often return home immediately after Eid prayers without further communal activities. She noted that the fair was therefore designed to create a welcoming space where families, especially children, could gather and enjoy themselves after prayers while strengthening community ties.
When you hear the name of Namata, it means business. We have Namata Adam Clinic, we have Namata School, we have Namata Kitchen, we have Namata Water. So when you hear the name Namata, it means all about business. The reason why we organize this program is that as Muslims, we realize that when it is Eid time, that we don't go out. We can fast for a whole month and even stay for a whole year. But there's nothing that entertains us after this Eid. What is making this Eid very special? We thought of it and we said there's nothing. Aside doing the fasting, there's nothing else. So we came together and realized that the best thing to do and entertain our people in the community is to organize a program like this. And I've seen that people have really appreciated us. Thank you, Baina TV. You have actually made it known to the world that Namata is organizing a program and people are able to believe us and they are able to come. When you look around, you realize that it is massive, and I'm even overwhelmed. I'm really thankful. Thank you to everybody watching Baina TV all around the world, not only Ghana. Thank you.
Some parents who attended the events commended the initiative, describing it as timely and beneficial. They highlighted the importance of such gatherings in promoting unity, relaxation, and a sense of belonging among Muslim families during the Eid period.
And then we are so much grateful for the organizers, which is Namata and its enterprises. MashaAllah, we are again thanking the entire Ummah for gathering here today to celebrate one of the Eid and a special event and a moment that we are all rejoicing today for. And then Alhamdulillah for the kids' happiness and the entire nation, Ghana. May Allah put us together and then imbibe our peace. May Allah bless every one of us. Next year we should be better than ever. And then the Bainab TV and then Eid crew, we are thanking you all for the best shooting programs that you guys come to organize. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Organizers express optimism that the event will become a regular feature on the Eid calendar, bringing families together to celebrate in an atmosphere of joy, love, and togetherness.
You're still watching Baina Midday News. We'll be back with business and more after this break. Do stay.
Fest 2026. This time with Abim Mamad. Africa Achievers Awards, Night of Music and Awards. It's gonna be Zafi. Salafest 2026 presents Mekanka Entertainment Africa Achievers Award in collaboration with Zongo TV. Breaks to you Salafest 2026. Join the biggest night of music and celebration.
Award bambanta za a tace a rarraye a zabi shugabannin da suka taka rawar gani a shihar su.
Kada ka bari a baka labari. Salafest 2026 is honoring leaders and artists from Ghana, Nigeria, Niger, Gabon, Sudan, and Cameroon for their contribution to music, community development, and beyond.
Goshin wasa Abdulsalam Shatan Niger.
Hamisu Breaker, Nigeria.
Ya bayyana ne tun daga zuciya sannan kaunar ke
Zainab Indomie a Nigeria.
Ajnabi ba ko zuciya na.
Sannan akwai mawaka kamar Koci Tanku, Faruk FK, Bijama, D-Flex, Tiny, Ibada, Sasko, Gali GH, Garba Yaron Zamani da FBS. Night of Awards and Music.
Daren karramawa da wake-wake.
Za yi sherere
da turkashi.
Unite at the National Theatre, Accra, Ghana on Monday 30th March, 7 p.m. sharp. Rate regular 100, VIP 200. For reservation, call 0243 481 334. Night of Awards and Music.
Ranar Litini 30 ga watan Maris a National Theatre.
Karfe 7 agogon Ghana.
Zai shere. Mukara turkashi.
It's gonna be boom.
Babu zuciya na kai sabo so da shakuwa.
You're welcome back and thanks for staying. If you just tuned in, you're watching Baina Midday News. We're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at Baina TV. Now let's delve into the world of business. And Fitch Solution has revised its 2026 real gross domestic product growth forecast for Ghana to 5.5% from the previous 5.9%. The UK-based firm is attributing this to the war in the Middle East and the effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz, which it described have dimmed Ghana's near-term growth outlook.
The report noted that while the country's external and fiscal positions are expected to remain largely insulated from oil price shock, partly supported by record high gold prices, the development is likely to drive inflation upward. It explains that major oil marketing companies in Ghana increased petrol and diesel pump prices by approximately 8 to 11% in early March, a move expected to exert additional pressure on the transport component of the inflation basket. This, in turn, is anticipated to translate into higher food prices and increased utility costs. These observations were contained in its latest article titled Strong Quarter 4 2025 for Ghana, but Iran conflict dims 2026 growth outlook. It also revised Ghana's average inflation forecast to 7.8% from the initial 7.3%. It continued that while the ongoing conflict in the Middle East and elevated global energy prices cast doubt on further monetary easing by the Bank of Ghana, the cumulative rate cuts of 1,250 basis points since mid-2025 should still feed through into stronger credit uptake in 2026, even if the policy rate remains on hold at the current 15.50%. It added that stronger output growth in Ghanaian oil and gold production will provide some tailwinds to export and support headline economic growth this year. Ghana recorded a 6.0% GDP growth rate in 2026, buoyed by the services sector.
And in some news beyond our borders, in Kenya, villages have been submerged by floodwaters in Kisumu County. The region is bearing the brunt of climate-related hazards. The latest torrential rains have killed more than 80 people, according to authorities. The flash floods are also reported to have damaged approximately 1,200 hectares of farmland, destroying this season's crops. more than 3,000 families have been forced to leave their homes in the Nyakash community, according to official reports.
Mali has released several suspected jihadist fighters as part of an agreement aimed at ending the blockade preventing fuel supplies from reaching Bamako. A secure corridor in effect until the end of May is expected to provide relief of the country's economy, which has been crippled by the fuel crisis. In South Tome and Principe, cocoa farmers have launched an ambitious project to restore forest cover. The TRI, the Restoration Initiative, is supported by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations in its mission to strengthen sustainable cocoa production. In Benin, President Patrice Talon's designated successor is gearing up for the upcoming presidential election. Age 49 Raymond Wadagni, the ruling majority's candidate, unveiled his vision for the country in Cotonou just days before the official start of the election campaign. The election is scheduled for April 12, 2026. March 25th to 27th marks the National Forum of Health Financing in Burkina Faso. FONAFES 2026 will bring together more than 400 participants from diverse backgrounds, ranging from policymakers to health experts. The country aims to establish an effective and equitable system to ensure health sovereignty. The 14th WTO Ministerial Conference will be held from March 26 to 29 in Yaoundé. Ministers from around the world are expected in the Cameroonian capital to discuss the challenges and opportunities of the multilateral trading system. On March 30th, the President of the Central African Republic will be sworn in. Re-elected last December, Faustin Archin Touadera will take oath of office in Bangui, the capital.
And in the world of sports, the Black Maidens are set to begin their campaign in the FIFA Women's World Cup qualification with a two-legged first round tie against Togo next month. The first leg will take place on Sunday, April 12, 2026 at Stade de Kege in Lomé, with kickoff scheduled for 4 p.m. The return leg will then be played 6 days later on